Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. I think I have 2 more days in New York. So we're winding down our stay here.
You've had quite a vacation.
We have. It's been an adventure. It's been an adventure. What are you thinking about this morning, sister?
Well, we've been having some lake adventures,
Mm.
and I have to tell you, yesterday I had the chance to be in a boat full of children. And I was thinking to myself, it is true. Children really love to talk.
It is true. It
They
is
have a
true.
lot to say, especially to each other, it seems. And you know, I I just well, I mean, I love being around children, but I also can't help myself, when you're a teacher, once a teacher, always a teacher. So I'm thinking I'm gonna try to, polish up on my repeat and expand skills a little bit, because I know we've been really thinking about oral language development in our work, and that is, such a big piece of this. So yeah, I was playing around with a little repeat and expand in the boat, and I don't know, let's talk about repeat and expand and the
Sure,
power
sure.
of.
I've been practicing it too as we've been in museums and sightseeing, and I have my 13-year-old is pretty chatty. My 18-year-old is a little more pensive. I think he's kind of enduring the family trip to some extent, but
But I was thinking about the strategy. It's good for harnessing the chatty in more intentional and productive ways sometimes,
absolutely.
but it's also really good for drawing out the pensive.
Yeah, and it's great for connecting too. I
Yeah.
mean, it has the added benefit of that relationship building and that connecting with children. And
Yeah.
so um it it it's um it's a meaningful way to listen as well as to expand. The listening is built in there. So,
I think the
but
listen is built in. And the other thing I love about that strategy is that I think affirmation is built in as well.
mhm, mhm,
And in that way, I think that is an investment in a relationship, that natural affirmation.
mhm. And it's really it's
Maybe, I'm sorry,
no, go ahead.
maybe some people don't know what repeat and expand is, and we should tell
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Well, it's repeat and expand is what we have labeled kind of a zooming in on Grover Whitehurst's strategy, which is called dialogic reading. And we have zoomed in on the repeat and expand piece because we want to make the point that it's not just during read aloud. Whitehurst research was situated in read aloud.
Mhm.
Um, but really repeat and expand can be used all day
All day
long
long.
in content areas, in during lunch, during walking to
At the bathroom
specials.
break.
Absolutely, absolutely. But what repeat and expand does is it's you repeat what children say and you expand on it a little bit. And there's more to it than that. There are actually 4 steps. But the research is so solid on this that the meta-analysis of this strategy, or I think there's more than one, I should be saying meta-analyses, what they show is that in 1 month, in 4 weeks, children's vocabulary development can be accelerated by 8 months.
Yeah,
So you're
that's
talking about
crazy.
8 months. I know, 8 months of growth in 4 weeks of conversation time.
Yeah.
So, but there's a downloadable of the process on our site.
Look what I just made, Jan.
There you go. You made it. It's high tech, Carrie. That's
We are
yeah.
really new to making these videos, and last time we said it, and then several people reached out afterwards and said I wasn't sure
Where
where
is
to
it?
get the downloads.
Right.
So that's
And if
kind of low tech, but
so that's where they are. And if you go to the tab that says downloads,
yeah,
you will find it on that page, and it's green. It's got a green circle on it. But it says repeat and expand, and it shows you the process. And if you want more elaboration, chapter 1 in our book, Shifting the Balance, goes into more depth on this strategy. But it's such a powerful way to connect with kids and to build vocabulary.
And the reason this particular strategy is housed with a whole lot of other strategies in chapter 1 of our book is because a lot of the focus, I mean, chapter 1 is really about that reading comprehension doesn't start when kids are readers or learning to read. It starts, from the time we come into this world and we start to acquire language, because oral language use, development, feedback all feed our comprehension, which later meets up with reading. So that's kind of how this connects to that whole business of science-aligned reading instruction.
Right. And if children need, well, their language comprehension puts a ceiling on their eventual reading comprehension. And so that language comprehension work has to be hand in hand with any phonics instruction or phonemic awareness instruction, because to neglect the language comprehension piece is to set children up to not comprehend, is to actually teach them to be word callers. So all that read aloud work that you're doing, all of that turn and talk,
reading aloud.
Yeah, all of that.
Make room for conversation during read aloud.
Yeah, it's all essential comprehension work. It might feel like it's on the side or in the margins, but it's actually, and you can use repeat and expand based on the work of Grover Whitehurst to make that conversation even more intentional, and let that strategy will help you accelerate children's vocabulary development. If you have children who you feel need more language.
Okay, Jan, we have to go because we're going to keep these videos short.
Okay.
If they want to grab a copy
about
of this, they're going to go to the 6shifts.com to the downloads page, grab that there. We'd love it if they followed us on our YouTube channel. We're trying to build our collection of videos there that are really helpful to teachers. And I'm excited to talk about some other things that came to mind during this video. So let's go and think about some other videos we can make.
All right.
All right. Bye, everyone.